Wow. It's actually you. Yeah. The Michael Jackson impersonation. Oh, one of the presidents. I want to say Andrew Jackson.
Pancake.
Fruitcake for time to clean up your act.
Oh, I really like that bubbly pot. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Did I do that or did you do that?
No, I did that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Dude, did I use that? Oh, chocolate fountains, But nobody wants to hear that stuff. That's boring. Andy Williams, she's all, why? Manageable from one little click on a Wayne Brady. Had to take a subway down to 45th and Market Street. You're in my kitchen. I was kind of hoping to see my shirt. Frank Sinatra and the Andrews Sisters. And there's no. Everybody wants to hear that because you're really little.
I'm kind of a little person anyway.
I gotta find a water. Hold on.
Yep.
There it is.
Welcome to episode 13 of DJ Center Stage TV. This is Jim Collins. He's known affectionately as the voice. We're welcoming Larry Williams to the show.
Thank you, Jim, and affectionately. I've not heard that very often.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah, okay.
It's nice to be affectionately.
Yeah.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yep, you've interviewed some A-list celebrities, built friendships, hosted events for them. Tell me how you met Dick Clark.
Oh, that's a fun story. Okay, so this is going to be weird. I'm working at a radio station, okay? And one day a guy walks in and he's looking for a job and my GM wasn't there. So I got his business card. He was a real estate guy. He gave me a real estate card. And I said, hey, if we're ever looking for anybody, we'll let you know. Next thing you know, like a year passes, I'm holding on to this card because he was a well-spoken, well-dressed man about my age. And I, at that time, it was around 1994, 95, and I was then moving from a single op to a multi-op. I wanted to have several DJs. I was getting a lot of accounts, a lot of stuff up at the resorts up at Lake Tahoe, the casinos, where I would need more professional MCs and DJs. So I called this guy up. His name was Rob. I said, Rob, how would you like to come work for me? And I don't have nothing at the radio station yet, but you could work with my mobile DJ company. I got a lot of stuff coming up. I got car shows and different things where I need an announcer. He said, great. So I started training him over time, and I started cutting him loose on different shows. And one day, I cut him loose on an elementary school dance. Now, the radio station was near the elementary school, and I lived about 10 miles away. So when I went to the radio station one day, I brought the equipment, the gear, and I brought it to him to put in his garage for the school dance the next day. And I brought it in there, and he says, come here, I want to show you something. And I said, okay. He goes, since I know you're a fan. And I'm scratching my head thinking, fan of what? What are you talking about, Rob? He goes, come over here. He walks me around through his kitchen and over to his living room and over to a bookcase. And he takes a picture off the bookcase, off the shelf, and he hands it to me. And he goes, well, I wanted to see this because I know you're a fan of Dick Clark's. And he showed me a picture of him and his wife with Dick and Carrie Clark. I'm all, oh, how cool. You've met Dick Clark too. Well, he knows I like Dick Clark because I was, spouting off about how much I really got a big thrill of meeting Dick Clark a year earlier when Dick Clark was up here at Lake Tahoe. And I got a picture with him and all that, hung in my office and stuff. I was really proud because he was always my idol. So he shows me this picture of him and his wife with Dick and Carrie Clark. I go, wow, you met Dick Clark too. And he goes, well, I'm just a little bit closer than that. And I thought, what do you mean closer than that, Rob? He says, well, Carrie's my sister and Dick's my brother-in-law.
Wow.
I'm all, dude. I go, can you repeat that? Say that again. He goes, Carrie's my sister and Dick's my brother-in-law. I'm thinking, I got Dick Clark's brother-in-law on my payroll? Seriously? And that's how it all started. And next thing you know, he's showing me pictures of Dick at the house, rolling on the floor with his young kids and playing and goofing off. And it started a friendship. It started a written correspondence at first. And then when Dick would come to town, I'd see him. And next thing you know, I'm getting invited to Malibu. And over the course of 15, 20 years, I became Dick Clark's personal DJ.
That's crazy. So So how starstruck were you when you first met him? Did you ask like the most ridiculous questions because you were just really nervous, or?
Yeah, I did ask a question. It was another funny story. Dick Clark's American Bandstand live at Harvey's. What Dick had for a short while was a cabaret show that did the history of American Bandstand. Dick would appear on a big screen TV. Then they would have cabaret dancers and all this stuff, right? And so they had this was the press opportunity. It was press day when all the press came out to for the opening of the show. So yeah, Dick was there, a live band was there, and he got up and started asking questions. So obviously I had to ask a question about why a show like American Bandstand is no longer around today. And he basically said because people's attention span is like minutes, not hours, and to sit there and watch a dance program, just watching people dance for an hour wouldn't work in today's thing. Now, this is back in 1995 because I believe the show ended around 87, 88. And so, yeah, I asked that question. And then, there was the photo opportunities where he's standing there getting pictures, and I stood in line, got my picture, and I was just thrilled. And he sat behind me when we went and watched the show. Now, kind of a funny story, a caveat to all that is I went and visited Carrie. I want to say it wasn't last summer, it was the summer before. I went down to Malibu and met with Carrie. Of course, Dick passed in 2012. And I was sitting in Dick's office where me and Carrie were talking, and we were talking about where I first met her and Dick. And I said, yeah, I was at that American Bandstand live at Harvey's show, remember? She goes, oh, yeah, wasn't that great to see Wayne Brady? I'm all, huh? What do you mean Wayne Brady? She goes, yeah, when we did that show, we hired this young dancer who did the Michael Jackson impersonation named Wayne Brady. And then he became a big star. I'm all, whoa, that was Wayne Brady? I had no idea. So Wayne Brady got his start in one of those types of cabaret shows, with Dick Clark Productions.
That's interesting, and a lot of celebrities had, the same.
Yeah.
Getting their start there, but
yeah.
It's great, and building that friendship and having a lifelong friendship after. So that.
Right. Well, that was the best part, is being welcomed as more of a family friend than a hired gun or employee. I wasn't that. We were just friends and friends with the family, and that's how it all started, with family. He's got a real tight, really cool family. I mean, the greatest people you'd ever want to meet. And I get asked by everybody, what's he like in person? I said, man, he's the exact same thing in person as you see on stage. He's very wholesome, very family related, very family oriented, loves kids. He had a lot of younger people around him in his family and stuff. So he's just that way, very genuine, very, very authentic.
Amazing. So that's Dick Clark. Let's talk about Larry a little bit and some of the different things that I've come across. And I follow you on Facebook, and I've heard a great deal about you, and so I'm definitely interested to find out more. Tell me how you came about writing develop your B-sides and what it's all about.
Okay, the B-sides thing was kind of a second thought, to be honest. Back when I was in radio, and I started in radio, I want to say 1990 is when I started as a radio DJ. I would stumble upon records in the broadcast booth and was looking, it's what we do when we're bored and music is playing. We're thumbing through and reading liner notes and stuff. And I was, looking at these records, these 45s, and I was stumbling across stuff like, Unchained Melody, and noticing it's on the B-side, and I Will Survive, and I'm thinking, why is that on the B-side? And Rock Around the Clock's like, why is that on the B-side? And we didn't have the internet back then, so all I had to do was to speak to different radio jocks and friends of mine. It's like, what's the history about all this? Or I could go to the library and look it up in an encyclopedia, and they just basically said that radio DJs just started flipping these records over and discovering really cool songs. So I went through all the 90s and 2000s with this idea in my mind to B-side things. So I always get involved in these little projects. I don't know if anybody remembers, I had a write-up in Mobile Beat magazine once where they showcased a big, tall jukebox sound system that I built that was 2 stories tall. It cost me $38,000 to build a Steam entertainment system. And to me, that was a B-side. It's something that I've always used throughout my radio career and DJ career as a way to create something unique and different. They tell you all the time in marketing, you look for a void and try to fill it. So I would always look for unique, different things that need to be done. It's like what a lot of people are doing now with photo booths. They're using it as a different add-on to their company, to their scheme, and they're trying to carve a little niche. Same thing happened with the chocolate fountains, we're uplighting now, and now remote uplighting that is all manageable from one little click on a hand remote. We always look for these unique things that will set our business apart, right? So I was always involved in these little projects, and I would just call it B-siding. And people would come to me, you know, hey, Larry, you're always up to something. You're always doing something of a project. What are you doing now? And I would say, oh, I'm just B-siding this. And they'd say, what's that? And I'd say, it's just radio jargon. It's just my own way of, I use it as a personal self-improvement mechanism. And so I wrote this book, Customer Service A to Z, okay, back in 2011. And got it here somewhere. There you go. And Dick Clark wrote the foreword for it. Very cool. That was very nice. So anyways, I wrote this book on customer service. I joined the National Speakers Association. I was very proud to do that. I was actually the first one from our industry to do that. And several have followed, which is kind of nice. But I joined the National Speakers Association back in 2013. I wrote the book in 2011. But I was going through a conference at Philadelphia for the NSA, the National Speakers Association. And one day, since I was in Philadelphia, I'd never been there before, I only knew 3 people at the conference. I knew Patrick Henry, Alan Berg, and Shep Hyken. And I went to this conference, and one day during the conference, I broke away and got on a subway, which was really weird for me because I've never been on a subway in my life. And here I am in a business suit. It's like, you know what? I'm going to skip the morning session, and I'm going to go to 45th and Market Street because I have to see the WFIL studios where Dick Clark used to film American Bandstand. So I go there, and I get the whole tour and everything. I come back for the afternoon session. I come into the big general session ballroom, and this lady named Lori Guest is sitting there. She goes, hey, come sit with me. And I don't even know who this lady is. I sit with her, and she says, so what do you write about? I said, or what do you speak? She says, what do you speak about? I said, I speak about customer service. I wrote a book called Customer Service A to Z. She said, oh, okay. She said, what do you think of the morning sessions? I go, I don't know. I missed it. She goes, you missed it? Why did you miss it? I go, well, I had to take a subway down to 45th and Market Street. She's all, why? I said, because I wanted to see the WFIL studios where Dick Clark used to broadcast American Bandstand. She's all, why? I go, okay, so I know Dick Clark, and I was friends with Dick Clark. I wrote this book called Customer Service A to Z, and Dick Clark wrote the foreword for it. And then she goes, so how do you know Dick Clark? I said, I was a radio DJ, and I was a mobile DJ. I'm telling her this whole story. And she's all, why are you talking about customer service? I said, because that's the book I wrote. That's what I do. You know, I'm passionate about customer service. She goes, why aren't you talking about Dick Clark and your association with him and your DJ career and all these fantastic stories? I go, nobody wants to hear that stuff. That's boring. There's no. Everybody wants to hear that. That's what makes you unique and has you stand out as a speaker, is your unique stories, your personal you. They want to get inside what you're all about. There's a million people that speak about customer service. So 6 months later, I write the book, Develop Your B-Sides. So that's how that all came about. So I'm joining a speakers association. I'm doing keynotes. I'm doing stuff on customer service, never knowing until you get in there and really listen to people that, one conversation changed my whole focus. I've been running around with this B-sides idea in my head for 20 years, but I didn't think anybody cared about it. And now I do major keynotes all over the place that where people want to hear about the B-sides methodology, how you could take something on your back burner, a B-side, something that's of a lower priority, and work on it, develop it, and bring it up to the forefront and make it one of the most powerful things in your business.
And it's interesting, someone could just take an idea that you have and tweak it like that, and then
Right.
I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, and we all got B-sides. We all got these little ideas and thoughts and passions and skills and talents that we're not using. And if we pour into them, develop them, work on them, and this sort of thing, they could be some of the most important things or the best things in our business or career. And that's what B-siding is all about. It's looking at it through a musical lens and realizing that all these songs that were recorded that are sitting on the B-side weren't lesser songs. It was just one guy sitting up in a executive chair saying, oh, that's just a filler song. That's just a B-side. They became some of the biggest songs in the history of music.
It's interesting. I was talking to Sim Cerrone in the last interview, and he was talking about how he had a conversation with Sarah McLachlan about a song, and he said, I think it's really going to be a hit, and how she said, you know what, we're really talking about that too, because the decisions are made by maybe that one individual as far as what's going to be released.
Right.
And it's interesting when you listen to, like, you hear the B-side, like Beth was the B-side for Kiss. and get a huge hit after that.
Yeah, their biggest one of all time. Yeah.
When I listen to whole albums from an artist I really like, I hear that they're releasing certain songs as singles. I'm surprised by that. Really, there's so many. There's this one on track 1 or track 2 is so much better.
Right.
So,
Well, and that's true, because that's why I equate it to the recording business, because when you write a song, you put a dozen hours, let's say, into it. Then you go give it to the band, and then the band rehearse individually. Then they rehearse as a group, more dozen hours or more. Then they go into the recording studio where it takes 18 hours to lay down a 3-minute song, and they work on it there. No less effort went into the B-sides as the A-sides. The same amount of work hours, effort, belief into that song and loving it from the musician standpoint and the recording engineer standpoint, it's the same amount of time. But one is relegated to a B-side because one guy in the executive office says, no, that's a filler. How do you feel that makes the people who are passionate about recording that song feel, or the players in that song? They gave the same amount of effort. Now, can you honestly say the things that are on lower shelf priority in your life or in your business have been given the same amount of time management? Can you imagine how powerful those smaller things that you're not paying attention to could be if you gave them equal amount of time management as the things that are working in your business? And that's the whole idea behind the process of B-sides. And it's the first of its kind that anyone's ever talked about, but it's what the record industry did to make hits. They relegated them to B-sides, and radio DJs, God bless them, they're the ones that discovered it. And everybody's got B-sides that need to be discovered. So we all got it.
Well, there's so many different areas where you can focus and bring attention to it and develop it, and then ultimately help your business.
Well, and another thing, I talk about this in my keynotes as well, is the record industry rolled with this for a lot of years. It wasn't just the A-side, B-side records. When the CDs came along, they had CD singles. The CD singles still held 74 minutes of music, but they would pile on with different versions, a live version, an acoustic version, this sort of thing. They still went with the same model that worked. You had the LP, the big album, and you sold a 45 to get people to buy the album. Same thing with CD singles. You had a CD, but you still had a CD single, because they ain't broke, don't fix it, to sell the big CD. And in music videos, it was a visual lure. These are all lures. The record industry used 45s as a lure to sell more product. They use it as a lure. And we had music videos. The lure there was visual. You have nowadays you have the VIP passes when you go to a concert. The lure is, yeah, you could buy a seat to see Kiss for $100, but if you spend $800 or $400, you can go backstage and meet them. If you spend $3,000, you can get the actual guitar that Paul Stanley smashes on stage and go home with it. So these are all different levels of creating a fan experience. It's all B-siding. It's the same stuff they did with the 45 RPM single. Put out a little product that gets you to buy the bigger one. It's a lure. They lure you in with this to get you to buy the full product, and they're still doing it today. They do it with downloads. You can get a download album, but if you download the whole album, you'll get an extra 2 cuts, right? These are all lures. It's all marketing lures to get you in and create a greater fan experience. We could do that in our own business. We could just take that model from the record industry and B-side things and look for those hidden gems that are there, and there's skills and talents and thoughts, ideas and passions that we all have that we're not developing.
I'm going to go back to it a little bit, talking about music and artists. So who are some of your favorite artists?
I've got jukeboxes at home filled with Frank Sinatra and the Andrews Sisters and gosh, Andy Williams. I don't like new music. I'll be real honest. I like very little of it, which is kind of why I'm aging out of the DJ profession, because I'm more akin to doing 20th century music than a lot of the newer stuff. I grew up in Downey, California, so I have to like the Carpenters. It's kind of like the rule. So Karen Carpenter is my favorite female singer. Elvis is my favorite male singer. Bands, gosh, I love Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick is one of my all-time faves. I'm going to see them in a couple weeks, but I'm taking my son for his birthday. He has no idea. Second row center. He's going to dig it. So I got to interview them back in '94, '95. Craziest interview of all time. They're nuts. They're so cool. I was so thrilled. I got to speak in Rockford, Illinois, where they're from last year as well. Anyways, Cheap Trick I love. I appreciate bands now more for their artistic quality than I did in the old days. I never liked Rush. Now I appreciate them. I never liked Pink Floyd. Probably didn't get stoned enough. But now I like them. Not that I get stoned now. I just never got into Pink Floyd. I was too much into, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne. I grew up with the guys from Quiet Riot. Those are some of my best friends today.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
So
yes.
do you know Alex Grassi pretty well?
Oh yeah. Well, not well, but
yeah.
he came along. I want to say in 2006. You know Alex?
Alex and I played in a band together with Sid Haitian from Boston.
Get out.
Yeah.
And he just passed away. I was actually commenting on Alex's post. No, I've never met Alex. I just know him from Facebook.
Yeah.
But when the days when Quiet Riot got signed, I knew Randy Rhoads, I knew Rudy Sarzo, Carlos Cavazo. I knew him. He was from a band called Snow, and I knew Frankie Banali for years, and we still go way back. Him and I. That's the one who I knew closest. Of course, I knew Kevin DeBro. And these guys have all passed on, but yeah, I can't wait to meet Alex. And now they've got James Durbin as their lead vocalist, which is like really cool, from American Idol.
Yes.
Yeah, James Durbin's now their new lead vocalist. But you were in a band with Alex?
Yeah, we talk on a regular basis. I actually talked to him last night, and we were talking about I'm trying to see if he has any of we did a 4-song demo, and I have a remake of Smokin' 96 version of Smoking, and we did that, and then we did, I think it was 3 other tracks, but I think he has them somewhere. So I'm like, hey, I'd love to, share these with people. And
Alex posted a picture last night on social media of.
That was me.
That was you?
Yeah, I was in that.
because the drummer was kind of kneeling or squatting down.
Yeah.
You were in there?
Yeah. So I'm on the far right.
Are you really?
Yeah.
What instrument?
Vocals.
Vocals? No kidding.
Yeah.
I'll be dang. What a small world.
And
that was just stunning when I heard of that yesterday. And if you go to that picture with you and Sib and Alex, you'll see one of my comments there from last night.
I did see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that was just, what a small world that you were in that picture. I wouldn't have recognized you.
I had hair and I had a goatee, so that's part of my face. And you had a mullet. And
of all that hair I had,
yeah,
my Leif Garrett look.
That was awesome. Tell me about the first concert you went to.
Oh, first concert was my brother took me to the old Long Beach Auditorium, which is next to they've torn it down, but it used to be next to the Long Beach Arena. And my first concert was a Don Kirshner's rock concert. And it's kind of funny. The first group playing was Ruby Starr. Remember Jim Dandy to the Rescue? She was the Go Jim Dandy, Go Jim Dandy.
Yep.
And Ruby Starr was the first group. Then they brought out this group called Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I didn't like them at all because I was a rock and roller, which is really, looking back on it now, it's like, how could I not like Earth, Wind, and Fire? Because I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. But I didn't like all the horns. It's like, ew, no. Give me some rock and roll. And the headliner that day was Edgar Winter Group with Rick Derringer. But there was a brand new group making their very first American appearance. We've never heard of them before. This little group called Bad Company. And of course, they ended up becoming huge.
Oh yeah.
That was a fun one. And Edgar was a nice guy. I got to interview Edgar when I was a radio DJ some 20 years later. But that was my very first concert.
That's fantastic. I love hearing about that and sharing Weird Al Yankovic is mine. So.
Oh, I got to tell you Weird Al stories. Weird Al. Okay, I used to work at a record store called Licorice Pizza Records and Tapes, down in California, in the corner of Firestone and Lakewood Boulevard, store number 6. And Al used to come in there all the time. He wasn't Weird Al, he was just Al, a quirky little teenage kid with stringy hair. And he used to come in and play his demo tapes because he was like obsessed with the Dr. Demento hour. And he would on KLOS or KMET, whatever those radio stations were. And he used to bring in his demo tapes of all his parody songs. And we would laugh and have fun. He would bring us fruitcake for Christmas that his mom would make. This is before he ever got signed. And then of course, he'd get a song that would be played on Dr. Demento. Hey, they're going to play my song this Friday. And all of that. But then he became like big, huge. I love Weird Al.
Fruitcake paid off. It got him.
Oh yeah, they did. He's from, I think, Linwood originally or something like that. But he used to live in Downey. He lived in Southgate for a while. Or no, not Southgate, Paramount, I believe. but I think he went to school or whatever in Downey for a while. But he lived in the neighborhood. And he was always coming into the record store we used to work at. So.
And his band kills it. They're just amazing musicians.
They are. I got to see him here in Reno some years ago, and just one of the most amazing performers ever. I mean, he nails it. Every song, costume changes, the whole thing. He gets into character when he's doing Kurt Cobain or Michael Jackson and Fat, or he's doing them all. So.
Both. My second one was Aerosmith and Dokken. That was in '87.
Oh, Don Dokken, yeah.
I was 13.
George Lynch and Don Dokken. That goes way back.
And that was right when they came back with the reunion, Aerosmith reunion, and Steve Tyler doing backflips off the stage and craziness, and it was really good. But
you still sing?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I record. It requires a lot of time for songwriting. So sometimes ideas, and I'll be able to write a song in a couple hours, and some take a couple months. And because the time with kids and everything. But I love it. I definitely use that passion now towards DJing. So that's my outlet, and being able to at least sing along the songs while I'm performing live. So
nice.
Yeah. But so your Rehearsal Dinner Revenue, that's your latest DVD. I love the concept of this. When did you decide that you would offer this type of service for your clients?
That was an accident, like many of the B-sides I've come up with. I was at a Mobile Beat conference, and Game Show Imagineering, which was the Game Show Mania folks, Creative Imagineering, Game Show Mania, they're out of Florida. They had a booth on the exhibit floor, and they were selling what was the GSS 3000 as a 4-player podium, for game shows. And I thought, you know what? We get a lot of corporate stuff up here in Reno. I'm going to get me one of them game shows. And I paid a lot of money for it, $3,000 or something. I get this unit. I was driving to Vegas that time, so I was able to drive it back, and stuck it in my garage and never marketed it, didn't do a dang thing with it, and it's my own fault. It never went out and worked. So I'm thinking, again, always the B-siding guy. Now, about this time, 2006, 2007, I was becoming a wedding entertainment director with Wed Guild. So I was learning an awful lot about direction and how to direct ceremony rehearsal and this sort of thing. And I believe, as I've talked to more people across the nation over the last 10 years, there's a lot of DJs like us who have always tried to put together a rehearsal package, maybe a little karaoke party or a little dance party for the bridal party, and it never gets off the ground, never goes anywhere. So with all this knowledge that I had that I was learning as part of being a director on how to direct a ceremony walkthrough and stuff, then came the idea of, what else can I do? I need to do something else if I want to create this as a package. And I thought of those player podiums that are sitting in my garage. So I decided to bring just one of them in. There's 2 podiums. They each had 2 microphones. So let's bring one podium in and see if it works independently by itself. And I did, and I plugged it in, and it worked. I'm thinking, okay, now I got something. So if I bring out one podium, maybe I could do a Family Feud style thing with the bridesmaids up against the groomsmen and the moms up against each other and the dads as well, to see who knows more about the bride and groom. So I created a bunch of questions, and I researched this and did a lot of things like that. And I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of cool. And so I did it. So I created a package that would be the how to do the walkthrough, how to do the ceremony walkthrough, learning everything that a wedding coordinator could or would know about how to lead the ceremony rehearsal. Then I thought, let's do something else. So after dinner, because everybody goes to a restaurant after that, and they have dinner and they sit down, they be a family, and then I can get up and talk for a few minutes on great ways to make the reception tomorrow work really well. And I came upon some ideas because I noticed as I researched that bridesmaids and groomsmen aren't just there to wear a nice dress and tuxedo and look good. They actually have roles and responsibilities. So I put together this whole laundry list of things that the bridal party could do to maximize the event tomorrow for their best friends who are getting married. So now you got bridesmaids and groomsmen, and right there after dinner, I make it fun. I don't make it too informative because they're there to relax. But if you make it fun and jovial and this sort of thing, you can give them tips and ideas on things that they can do to bring people over to the photo booth, or if the dance floor is not doing that good, to go grab some people out of the chairs. You make these bridesmaids and groomsmen the ambassadors of the celebration. And then when you tell them that they have an important role, they wear that, on their shirt sleeve as a call to action. And what I find is the next day, these weddings now I've got 8 or 10 generals in the field doing so much good work on behalf of the bride and groom. These parties are kicking butt. They're doing great. So then after I do that little 10, 15-minute talk, or I call it an oration, then I go into the game show stuff. And I set up the podium, and I bring the whole bridesmaids and groomsmen up 2 by 2 in a Family Feud style thing. Who knows more about the bride and groom? And that goes on for a half hour or so. And there's usually a winning side. And it's usually always the girl side because they know more about their girlfriends than guys care to know about their buddies.
Yeah.
But it's always fun because people are yelling out answers. They're yelling out wrong answers, and they're getting crazy. They're cussing sometimes. They come up to the podium with their beer. It's just fun and jovial and a good time. I wrap it up with the pre-newlywed game or shoe game. I don't use shoes, though. But it's the pre-newlywed game where I have a series of questions I ask the bride and groom about how well they know each other. It's just fun. It's involved. And I put together this training video that tells everybody how to do it. It's not a video, or it's not a DVD of a seminar. This is actual recorded on a soundstage. It's all training video style. And it comes with 12 documents that sets you up on how to offer this immediately to your customers. So when you take this training course, it's not only the DVD you're watching, you've got 12 documents, including all the questions for both game shows. You've got directions and things you can send the client, marketing materials as well. It's like a turnkey operation. Gives you everything you need to begin offering this immediately. So there's great midweek money to be found, and I often tell people that rehearsal dinners are the greatest untapped revenue stream in the wedding industry. And I'm now teaching DJs, wedding coordinators, facility managers, officiants, spouses who want to get involved with their significant others business on how to do these rehearsal dinners, because there's money to be made, and nobody's going after rehearsal dinners. Nobody. And now, through this training, we've got, dozens, if not hundreds across the U.S. that are now, giving it a shot and doing very well with it. So
it's a great concept. And not only that, it's such a win-win because you have the wedding party, you have family members that are at the rehearsal, and they get to know you there. And then when you bring it to the celebration the next day, you've already won as far as that goes.
That's one of the intangibles about this, that when you show up the next day at the wedding, you're like an old friend. The ROI from a standpoint of personal connection is priceless, because you're getting slaps on the back and people are joking around. There's other people going, "What happened at the rehearsal last night? It sounds like it was a great time." Because these rehearsal dinners they don't have just the bridal party. They have family and friends from out of town and aunts and uncles. I've done these things with as many as 125 people at the rehearsal dinner. So they're generally 30 to 50 people, but it's a great time. And when you show up the next day, the goodwill there, and the fact that people are so enamored with what you did, you're welcomed into the family, and you're not like just a DJ showing up to do a job. You're like someone who really did something special for the family, because these are the first family gatherings of this highly anticipated thing we call a wedding. And so people underestimate what rehearsal dinners are, and they're a big deal. They are a big deal to the family. And now we can market to them and create some fun, but there's nothing musical about it. So you got to take yourself you got to take that DJ hat off, take yourself out of that thinking like a DJ, and you're there to facilitate, to direct, to be a game show host, to be an orator, to give direction and ideas. So you can really create something unique that has nothing to do with music. You're facilitating something really cool that the family needs, and they'll pay for it. And I sell these things anywhere from $400 to $800. So it all depends on your market. But I've got people in the Houston area selling them for $250. But then again, their weddings, they don't sell weddings for a great deal like $2,000 either. There's other parts of the area where it's hard to get $1,000 or $1,200 for a wedding. So you'll get about a third of the price that you will for a wedding. If you're doing $1,200 weddings, you could probably sell these all the time for $400. And I don't know about you, but if I can make $400 on a weekday for 3 hours worth of work and not bringing any equipment, maybe a power speaker or a couple of buttons for a game show, that's good money on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And I've made these documents to where they're ready to go right now, or you can fix those documents. You've got them in PDF form, you got them in Word doc and Excel. If you want to put your own company logo in there, change a few questions around, whatever, you get the whole shooting match, all the marketing materials. But there it is.
Nice. There's not too many other vendors that I know here, DJs or companies around that offer that, and maybe I'm wrong about it, but I don't think there is.
Right. Well, yeah, they're not. And here's another thing: is there's a lot of customers that I don't think it would fit with. You know,
Right.
I find the customers that are looking for really unique stuff. They want my love stories. They want unique grand entrances. They want different routines that are interactive and stuff. Those are the ones that want something of this nature. I get a lot of customers. I run a small multi-op, just 3 employees.
Okay.
So the ones who want my standard package, where I send my guys out and they just do regular DJing and MCing and event flow, not without all the bells and whistles of love stories and grand entrances, unique stuff that I do, a voice recording in the middle of a song, stuff like that. I don't do that for every wedding. That's with my gold standard package or my Malibu package. So when they want standard DJing, they're usually not into the really unique stuff that would be here. But and also you got to pick and choose if they have a wedding coordinator. Now, if they and this is a good way to look at it. Let's say you have a wedding in the middle of April on a Saturday, and they don't have a wedding coordinator, but you know there's 100 or 150 or 200 people for that wedding, and they're relying either on the facility manager to coordinate that rehearsal or a family friend. Say, listen, I got something for you. It's great. It's the middle of April. I'm even going to cut you a better deal. It's for your Thursday or Friday rehearsal. Check this out. So those are the ones that really capitalize on too. Find out if they got a wedding coordinator. Out here, sometimes they have a wedding coordinator. If they have a wedding coordinator, they're less apt to get a package like this that includes a wedding, direction for the ceremony rehearsal. But I have done them to where I've let the, wedding coordinator do the rehearsal. I step back a little bit or just there to consult or add whatever's necessary in information. And then I do the other things, the oration and the game show stuff. But yeah, you look for openings. You look for an opportunity, and that opportunity would be, they don't have a wedding coordinator. They need this. And that's where you go in. And I don't say you go in and pounce. You create a little video and you talk to them about it. I never, ever sell these things on my first consultation when they book my DJ service. I book them first. And log down the line, I'll send them a little email and say, hey, check this out. This is kind of cool. Check out this video. I create a little promotional video, and it sells itself when they see all the game show fun. They start calling me and say, oh, we got to have that. How much is that? That sort of thing. So I never try. You never want to overwhelm a customer with too much stuff during an initial consultation.
Right.
So I book them first as a DJ, and then I get to know them a little bit, see what their needs are, see if they have a wedding coordinator, see how big that rehearsal dinner is, how many people are coming from out of town. You doing it in a nice restaurant? You doing it at the Elks Lodge? You've got to find out where they're at, how much interaction they like. Is it a fun family that likes to laugh and really cut up and do some crazy stuff? And that's where things like this work well. So yeah, you got to kind of pick and choose. It's not for everybody.
So where are you going to be in the next couple weeks? Tell me.
I'm headed to Arm DJs. Let's see. I gotta fix my camera here.
Yeah.
Arm DJs. That's the place. Yeah. So I'm going to be at Arm DJs, and it's going to be the Arm DJs 10.0. It's got the crazy stellar group of people. Sarone's going to be there. Let me see who else. I'm going to have to do this off the top of my head. Randy Bartlett's speaking. Mike Walters speaking. I think Peter Mary, Ron Ruth. I can't remember them all. Just a crazy 10 speakers over 2 days. And Robbie's going all out for this one. Have you ever been to Arm DJs?
I have not.
It's cool. It is cool. It's like the little conference that could, because when he had his very first Arm DJs conference, it was you're coming to Greenville, Tennessee, and literally this is like the middle of nowhere, the middle of the Appalachian region, right? And it's where one of the presidents, I want to say Andrew Jackson, or is it Johnson? I get them wrong all the time. But it's a little small. I mean, it's small town Tennessee, and it comes alive with all these DJs. And he usually packs in 150 to 200 DJs, for that thing. I gotta shut that off. Sorry. 150 to 200 DJs that come over for this, really unique deal. It's phenomenal. The content is crazy. They have. And they do other extracurricular things. In fact, this year, Robbie's getting married on the Sunday, and Monday, everyone's doing a golf day. Then we're doing the 2 days of seminars, and everyone's going to Dollywood on the Thursday, for those who want to stick around and do that. But just the content. He's always looking for unique content that people don't get at other conferences. That's the key. He's always stressing, bring me the most creative, unique stuff you got. And that's why Arm DJs year after year is the most successful, because Robbie was the first to bring in Jeffrey Gitomer. Robbie was the first to bring in Gary Vaynerchuk. He brought in Michael Port. He's just brought in Patrick Henry. He's just brought in these world-class speakers and this content for DJs and anybody in the wedding business for that matter that is just off the charts different. And so yeah, I'm digging it. And I got my brand new seminar that I'm going to debut, and I'll tell you the name of it. And I'm kind of wearing it. The name of the seminar is 5 o'clock Shadow. Yeah, time to clean up your act. And basically, Jim, what I put together is a 5-step shadow program, because shadowing is really important in our business. And we've all shadowed other DJs and other wedding professionals. And we're basically, kind of looking over their shoulders, seeing what they're doing. And occasionally we might offer a little bit of critique. If we're their best friend, then we rip them a new one, right? But this is a shadow program to where you and the person you're shadowing enter into a little agreement that you're going to shadow, but now you have shadowing with a purpose. And you're going to look for different observations and recommendations, and you're going to put together a journal. When this is all done, it'll be anywhere from a 5 to 10 page journal of focusing on all kinds of different areas of improvement. And you'll be focusing on what they've been doing right and some recommendations on what they could do differently. So again, it's shadowing with a purpose. And it's a way to, I don't know about you, Jim, but a lot of the conferences I've gone to, I get some of the most important stuff from the hallways, right? It's on the job training when you're in a hallway talking with somebody, you're learning some of their unique things that they do. And you get a lot from the stage, of course, but some of the best conversations are in the hallway. And when you can go out with a colleague or a friend and just shadow them, they are going to get benefit from your observations and recommendations, and you're going to generate ideas that you don't want to steal their ideas necessarily, but you do want to B-side them, if you will. You want to take what they got and say, hey, this is a different way of doing it. I'll tell you a quick story. I shadowed one guy, and it was just basically by accident because he was a friend of mine. His name was Bill Burns. He was a DJ up here at South Lake Tahoe. He's passed away now. But he was just one of the most personable guys you'd ever want to meet. And we weren't really close friends. But he said, hey, come on over here after you set up and hang out for a little bit. I'm all, okay. So I always get to every event 2 hours early. So I set up in my one room over here, and I go check him out. And what I realized is this guy who was as short as me, he had a long ponytail, but he was well-groomed, had a long ponytail. But what came out of his mouth, and he wasn't like a phenomenal speaker that had this magical voice. He was just a regular guy. But he said some of the most beautiful, heartfelt things I've ever heard in my life. And to this day, I've even asked him, I said, can I use that? And he said, yeah, go ahead. One of the lines that he said towards the end of the event was, one of the greatest things we can give one another is that of our time. And I want to thank each of you for spending this time with Joe and Sarah today. I'm thinking, wow, what a beautiful way to thank people for coming. So you learn little things like this when you shadow people.
Absolutely. I had a wonderful experience with Big Daddy. I shadowed him for an event at this place in Connecticut, close to New York. And it was an amazing experience because I'd never actually had an opportunity to do that with any other DJ. So this was about 2 weeks after I met him in 2015. And so, yeah, he invited me, and I went, and I was just blown away. And I'm like, oh my God, I never even thought you could do this at a wedding. And there were 50, 60 different ideas that were just right there. So there's nothing better than having and gaining that insight of how you can make a party and do it, but tweak it in your own way too, right? Like you're saying. And those hallway conversations saying, okay, I'd love to use this idea in a way and then just make it my own and craft it into my own.
Well, normally we take mental notes. Yeah. And although, I don't suggest people be there with a clipboard and that sort of thing as well, you got to step away out of view to where you could do this. But yeah, it's really, it's like you're auditing somebody, but in a friendly way, in an agreeable way. It's not to be shared with anybody. There's confidentiality involved between you and the person you're shadowing. But now you have a template. I'm going to be offering at Arm DJs 10.0, a template, a 5-star shadow program. We use 5-star because that's what they use in customer service. You know, you get 5 stars or 4 stars or 3 stars or so on. And I broke it down into categories of appearance, okay? And this is not only personal appearance, but your equipment appearance as well. Preparation and how well you are prepared, how well you've gotten to know your clients, and the documentation or itineraries or song lists that you have, you know, and what preparation you put into the event. Customer service, of course, how you interact with other event professionals as well as yourself. Personalization, those are the unique touches, whether you're doing love stories or unique grand entrances or you know, special vocal drops or whatever. So the personalization you put into your event, and then performance. You know, how well is everything executed on site? And this way, there's checklists, there's commentary, there's different things like this that we're going to be, you know, adding into the mix that they'll hear about in the seminar. But it's a real shadow program with a real template that can be presented to the person you're shadowing literally, you know, a week or two afterwards. Sit down and go have, you know, lunch together, and then show them your shadow report. So the seminar again is called 5 o'clock Shadow, Time to Clean Up Your Act. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Any DJ, any MC who wants to improve and truly wants that,
right,
better themselves and grow as a performer, an entertainer, I think that they would want to be ripped a new one. And
oh yeah,
you know, here's some different things you can improve. I would personally love that.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, this came, and I'm not going to make no bones about this, that I created this all of a sudden. Yeah. This came from a guy named Matthew Strong. In 2007, he shadowed me in August up at a place called Valhalla. It's like a castle up at Lake Tahoe. And this is, coincidentally enough, this is about the time that my application is in with Wed Guild to become a wedding entertainment director. And I just invited Matthew to come shadow me. You know, he said, "What are you doing? I'm in town that day. You know, you doing a wedding?" Oh, yeah, come on down. So he came down, he got in his suit and tie, and he shadowed me. I had no idea he was taking all these notes. 2 weeks later, he gives me this 10-page report, and he reamed me. I mean, he ripped me on all kinds of stuff. Now, he also said the good things that I did, but it goes to show you that even though you're approaching the upper echelon of the DJ industry, you're a Wed Guild, you know, you're trying to get in Wed Guild or whatever, you know, nobody's perfect. Even the people that are at that level, there's still lots of room to improve. So I became a wedding entertainment director, and I know if people shadowed me, they'd still find deficiencies. They're there. We never arrive at perfection.
That's right.
You went out with Sean, you know, as Big Daddy, and there are some things there that even he would tell you that he can improve upon.
Oh, as a matter of fact, this is quote what he said. I'm going to show you all the things not to do.
Right.
You know, right. He's very humble about, you know.
Yeah. No. It's very hard to get a 5-star in any of these categories if you're honest and you can really. There's people that are great at a lot of stuff, and I'm not looking to tear people down, but I'm looking to bring people up.
Yeah.
To help other people improve. Because again, if you're shadowing me, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what I can fix. And that's what Matthew did. He gave me this report, and this is what I'm tweaking it a lot. But this is basically where the idea came from. I've been working on this or thinking about it for 10 years, working on it for the last 2. But there's nothing like it in our industry. We don't have a shadow program that has any sort of observations and recommendations in written form, including photographs, that can, you know, help us become better. So this is just another tool in our toolbox to really do something that's you know advantageous or beneficial to improve. So definitely.
I have to ask you this then, and from a standpoint, you're a DJ and you're going out to events and you're the one that's shadowing someone else or shadowing a couple different DJs. What do you think is a better approach? Do you think that this approach is you get the most feedback and it's going to help you the most by having someone critique you and do it this way as opposed to going out yourself and kind of just you know, checking out different styles of the MCs?
Oh, I definitely think having somebody shadow, you know, if I'm having somebody shadow me and if I'm asking for honest feedback,
right,
I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
But because in this case, I wasn't even asking Matthew, and he did it. And that to me is the greatest gift of all. because I never would have known how deficient I was in many different areas. And I'll be sharing the shadow report that he gave me 10 years ago. I'll be sharing that at Armed DJs. And I'm not kidding. He ripped me on many different things. But they're the little things, you know. It's like Randy Bartlett talks about the 1% solution.
Yeah.
It's what you can do, that 1% thing you could do that could take you over the top to become better. It's sometimes only just a minor or little change that's needed. And that's the thing in this report. There's not going to be any, most people, if they've been doing this for a living, won't have glaring deficiencies that are completely absolute wrong. But you're looking for those little things, and those are the little things. By having another set of eyes and the honesty to tell you about them, that's going to make you improve. And Matthew gave me some, very strong critique in little areas, little things that I was doing that I didn't even know I was doing, And for example, the cake cutting. I remember one of his things. I could pull the report right down and show you. But he says, lose the radio DJ announcer voice. Now, mind you, I've gone through the Marbecca love story workshops twice. So I learned from the best. Mark Farrell on how to control your voice, how to lose that radio DJ voice, and how to be real and authentic. And I've learned that. I've done love stories, dozens of them, and I do them well. But I guess after the love story, for whatever reason, when I got into the cake cutting and bouquet garden, he said that I had reverted back to, ladies and gentlemen, getting back in that radio DJ voice. It wasn't authentic. I didn't know that. I didn't think I was doing that. He saw it though. So your shadower, the person shadowing you, will see things with a different set of eyes and see things as a guest would. So that's important. We need critique. It's almost like asking critique of your guests, which you would never do. You need that that non-biased set of eyes to say, listen, you might want to try it this way. Here's an observation. Here's a recommendation. And that's all these are, observations and recommendations in many different areas.
Great advice and a pleasure. Larry, what is the best way for DJs, business owners, anybody who wants to get in contact with you to get in contact?
Yes, LarryPresents.com. So www.larrypresents.com. And if you're interested in any of the products, there's a products page for the Developer B-Sides book, the Customer Service A to Z book. And for your viewers that are watching this, there's a special deal on Rehearsal Dinner Revenue. This training DVD with the 12 supporting documents retails for $159. However, if you click the PayPal link and go to, by the way, rehearsaldinnerrevenue.com, you can get it through LarryPresents.com or rehearsaldinnerrevenue.com. Will take you directly to the page. If you click on PayPal, I've got PayPal set up for your customers, $119. Plus, I think it's $9 shipping and handling. That's U.S. orders only. If you're out of the U.S., you got to call me, okay? But U.S. orders only, you'll save $40 off the retail price simply by getting it through PayPal. So special offer. It's the lowest I've ever made this thing. So
how long will that last for?
I don't know. I'm going to leave it up for like a week or two. I guess you'll probably have people that'll view this the day it airs, and maybe some that'll view it afterwards. I'll leave it up for a week or so. And but if they get there, or they can just call me. You'll find me through LarryPresents.com or RehearsalDinnerRevenue.com.
Very good. Thanks again, Larry. Stay tuned next week for episode 14. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Jim.